Welcome back, everybody! Welcome to another episode on Helios! My name is Rosie Gemini, and thank you guys so much for tuning in to part 3. This will be the last part, I swear. I've done some thinking. We're gonna play with redstone. And maybe do a little decorating. We'll figure it out as we go along. I do know that I want to make some piston doors. So let's get to it. Alright, so I know you guys didn't get enough of the Sniffers and the Allays, and so we are going to do a couple more things with them, including, as you guys can see, I have installed a doorway. Now, I do not like this doorway. It's not an actual doorway, and I still have to break blocks in order to get in here. We are going to do a redstone doorway. Do I know what I'm going to be doing? Not really, but we're going to figure it out as we go along. The Allays are going to be set free in this episode to be able to go upstairs as well. And then we are also going to be adding in a few more trees along here. We're going to give them a little bit more space. We're going to put in a redstone door, and we're probably going to end up moving this collection system over just a little bit. We're going to create 2 piston doors. This is going to be the one for the Allays, and just so you guys know, I am not using anybody's tutorials. I'm just trying to figure this kind of thing out on my own, so if it is scuffed, yell at me in the comments down below and tell me how scuffed it is. We do have the concept down. I think that this is going to work very easily, and obviously we would get rid of all the dirt and make it actually look nice. You just pull that and this and this. And then all of a sudden, you've got the doorway open. I want to make sure every time that I go in there that I'm not going to be potentially letting them escape. That's why it needs to be glass. Alright, so I have the one side working, and it's fully functional. There's no problems with it. However, I do want to make it more compact, and we're still trying to figure that out. Alright, so I think, and I only think, this is what we are going to go with because I haven't designed the other portion of the door. I am going to create the second door here just because I need to make sure and verify that both pieces are going to work together. If we come up here, you guys can kind of see through the glass how that all would work. Like I said, this line does work. It absolutely works. There's nothing wrong with it. It is just a little bit more space consumptive. More work to be done. Alright, so check it out, guys. Bam. Door opens, door closes. So yeah, we figured out the redstone for it, how I want it to go. As usual, I am fitting the redstone to my needs. And what my needs are is I need this to be a short little corridor. So obviously I have a little bit more work to do. I will be right back. Now, obviously I can make the same door as the one I made right there. However, we're not going to do that. That would be boring. Instead, we're going to make a curtain. This should be interesting. Check it out, guys. So, ta-da! I have yet to learn how to do 3x3 or anything with a 3 door. So this is kind of as good as I get right now. But I do think it is good. We've got all of the timings in. So it does have a cascade effect. I think it works for exactly what we need it to. Both systems are, however, independent of each other. So they don't affect one another, which is good. Now, the other part that I do need to still put in is the return systems. So, as you guys can see, this button goes only one way. I don't have the secondary system put in yet, and I don't have the other side put in yet. So that is what I'm going to be working on next. Okay, and so we have our first problem. If this door is actually accurate, where you press the button and you can go through. However, this door, we have not actually successfully powered the signal here. So we need to get this system to be in the right spot and be powered already all the time. unless I press the button. That would be the next piece as to how we're gonna do this. Alright, so we got this working now. Ta-da! So we did change up the torch tower and adjusted it to the side here. Obviously, this one didn't need to be this big, but because I wanted to have that curtain effect, we needed to have in the repeaters, and so therefore we kind of needed to make it be that big. Yeah, we can go all the way through, and I love it. So we have the first lock and key system in place. We just have to get to this mess. And it is kind of a mess right now, so we might be downsizing and fixing and tweaking. I got a little bit more work to do. I will be right back. Okay, so I have semi-success. They all do move. Not in the correct order. That can be changed with the timing of the repeaters and everything like that. So, progress has been made, and we're accepting that. Alright, so I think we finally got it. Check it out. And we go through. And we have... ta-da! Both sides! So now we have a double door entrance that is easy to do. And we have, ta-da! We have two piston doors. Two very, very different piston doors. Both requiring redstone. Both requiring a lot of work. This is actually pretty complicated for me at the least. And should take a few hours in order to get all the pieces just right. But that is your visual if you guys were wanting to ever, for some reason, copy this monstrosity of redstone. The fact that I even was able to make this door is amazing. In order to get these guys to chill for a little bit, we're just going to take away their items and let whatever is found rot. Because we're going to work on the door. We're going to install that big monstrosity up there, down here. And, of course, yeah, the Allays, they got to be tied up for that process, because otherwise they are going to escape and go out the door. And the Sniffers, well, I just have to keep an eye that they're not within the range. Oh yeah, let's go. You think I'm scared of you? I'm not scared of you. Take on your friend over here too. He thinks he's all safe up there. Boop. Boop. Alright. One down, one to go. Yes. As you guys can see, we have also encapsulated all of the redstone, so that way it doesn't look like a bunch of redstone hanging around. The next portion to this is going to be getting the upstairs ready. So I want to make sure that mobs are not spawning necessarily on top of here, because then that would be really kind of bad. In order for us to do that, I'm going to take these lights and put them up above. That way I can always see kind of what's going on in the upper portions of this as well as down below. So that's the next piece. Let me get to it. Alright, so as you guys can see, we've got the ceiling all uncovered, and we are going to set free the Allays. So, all free, we've got the collection systems back in place, and they'll pick them up eventually. But, yeah, these little guys are gonna work just fine, and they're gonna get everything all collected. And if we come right down here, you guys can see I've got the inner workings all figured out, and it all looks great. It's all boxed up and it looks nice and neat. This is also where we have decided to put the collection system, and as you can see, the minecart is running and doing its job, picking up all of the inventory. So let's get to the next part of the project. The next part of this project is to make sure that the landscape matches the building, and we'll be putting in the glass panes on the white just to add a little bit of fringe. So yeah, we have our work cut out for us. Alright, so we did get in all of the flooring. Why it needed to change, I don't know. And we came up with this design, and I really like it. I like having a little bit of a pattern design in here, and it just reminds me of the fall tree that we had in the previous series. But I do have a little bit more work to do, so I gotta get to it. We do have the trees kind of figured out. We did get this tree in, and I want it to be a very much a trimmed tree, which means that this tree was groomed to go in this direction to make this archway and have that pretty feel of the trees arching overhead of you. And so yeah, we're gonna make a couple more of them. This is kind of the shape we're going for with the trees, and so they are going to be more of a windswept archway vibe than anything else, just because we want to create that kind of archway. So I got a little bit more work to do, obviously. I will be right back. 2 trees down. Again, I'm not trying to make them symmetrical. I'm not trying to make the same tree on the same side or anything like that. So, you know, if the symmetry is off for you guys, then guess what? That's on purpose. We obviously have 2 more trees to build, and we're still coming up with ideas. So I will be right back. The 3rd tree is done, and we do have a scuffed visitor. Don't know how we have such a thing, but it very much leads somehow are stretching that far, and I have no idea how this is happening. But the 3rd tree is done. Let's get the 4th one done, and we will move on. Welcome to X marks the spot at the Sunrise Circus. I love it! It came out so good. I love the iron ore for the trees. I think that it has the right texture for leaves, as well as the silveryness of being able to match something that would happen in the savannah, which is bleached trees. So yeah, I like that is a nice connection to its surroundings without it being the dull leaves that is most of the savannah biome. And I didn't have to use azalea leaves, so which we had already used in our circus tent. So yes, we do have the banners up here, which there you go, that's what it looks like. If you guys want the recipe, that's the recipe. I like how this turned out so very, very, very much. And if we come in here, you will see that we have the trees in, we've got all of the Allays in, and we have all of the Sniffers in. So that means job completed. And I do mean that this time. The job is officially complete. That's gonna do it for this episode. So like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, stay rosy in the darkness, guys.